So what is the future of real estate? Today, we're going to try and answer that by diving deep into the Emerging Trends in Real Estate 2026 report. This is a huge deal, a joint effort from PwC and the Urban Land Institute, and it gives us some incredible clues about the forces that are really reshaping our world. So let's get right into it.
You know, I think this quote from someone inside the industry just perfectly nails the mood right now. It's not one thing or the other, is it? It's this weird mix of hope and worry, a kind of uncertainty fatigue after years of just constant chaos. This really sets the stage for everything we're about to talk about. A market that is complicated, for sure, but also just packed with opportunity.
So the report uses this great metaphor. It describes the current vibe as a dense fog, right? Think about all the stuff swirling around: political extremism, trade tariffs, crazy economic policies. It all creates this haze that makes it super hard to see what's coming next. But, and this is the cool part, through that fog, there are three massive trends shining through like lighthouses. They're giving us clear signals about where we're all heading, and those are the trends we're going to unpack.
All right, so here's our game plan. First, we're going to tackle the great human reshuffle, this huge demographic shift that's changing where and how we live. Then, second, we'll get into AI's physical footprint. Yeah, you heard that right. We'll see how the digital world is chewing up a ton of physical space. And third, we'll look at the new realities and really pinpoint the clear winners and losers in this whole new ballgame. Okay, first up, our first megatrend, and it's all about people. I mean, the way we're all spread out across the country is going through this massive, fundamental change, and it's being driven by things that go way beyond just, moving for a new job. This is a story about demographics, migration, and what we all prioritize when we decide where to call home.
Now have a look at this. What's absolutely fascinating here is how clearly this chart shows the real engine of population growth in the US lately. See those green bars? That's net international migration. In a place like the Southeast, it's responsible for half of all population gain. This isn't just a side note, it's literally the main thing keeping the country's population from shrinking.
And to really hammer this point home, look at this number: 83%. A mind-blowing 83% of the entire U.S. population increase from 2020 to 2024 came from people moving here from other countries. That is a massive reliance on a single source for growth, and you can bet that any changes to immigration policy will have huge ripple effects on everything, especially real estate.
And this isn't just some abstract idea for an economist spreadsheet. As this quote from a strategist makes painfully clear, the impact is immediate when those migration patterns shift. It hits both sides of the equation. You get fewer construction workers to actually build stuff, and you get fewer people looking to rent the stuff that's already built. It is a classic double whammy for the industry.
But, the migration story isn't just about people coming to the U.S. It's also about where Americans themselves are deciding to live. That old story of everyone's moving south to the Sun Belt, it's getting a lot more complicated. We're now seeing what you could call climate migration, as crazy heat makes people rethink the South. Access to healthcare has suddenly become this huge, powerful reason to move. And even though low mortgage rates have kind of locked people in place, the hunt for an affordable life is still pushing people to new parts of the country. Okay, moving on to our second trend, and this one might surprise you. We're talking about a force that's reshaping our physical world, and it's artificial intelligence. I know, we think of AI as something that just lives in the cloud, right? But the truth is, it has a massive, and I mean massive, and rapidly growing physical footprint on the ground.
And listen, this is not just hype. Look at what the industry leaders themselves are saying. When they were asked about the biggest disruptors in real estate, they ranked AI as the #2 biggest force. It beat out things we hear about all the time, like remote work or energy costs. The only thing they're more worried about? The cost of building things and finding people to do it. So yeah, AI is a very big deal.
So, you're probably asking, why does AI need so much physical space? Well, it comes down to a concept called AI inference. It sounds technical, but it's simple. It's just the term for when you actually use an AI, like you ask a chatbot a question or you tell it to make a picture. To make that happen instantly with zero lag, the data centers doing all that thinking have to be physically close to you, and that is driving a building boom for these facilities right outside our major city. And if you want to see the money trail, here it is. This chart shows the spending by the hyperscalers. The big guys, the tech giants. Just look at that curve go up. It's on track to hit over $500 billion a year by the end of the decade. And most of that cash is going straight into building physical stuff, especially data centers.
And here is why this trend matters to every single one of us. Those data centers that power your favorite apps and AI tools, they're not in some imaginary cloud. They're being built in our backyards, and they are competing for two things that are very, very limited: land and electricity.
This puts all kinds of new pressure on our communities and our power grid. It's a quiet revolution happening all around us, all driven by our digital habits.
And all of this brings us to our third and final trend. In this really complicated, shifting market, the old rules just don't apply anymore. It's not a rising tide lifts all boats kind of situation. No, what we're seeing is a dramatic split, a great divergence that's creating very clear winners and very clear losers among different kinds of properties.
This chart basically gives you a snapshot of a huge rotation of money that's happened in real estate over the past 10 years. It shows how the big investment funds have completely reshuffled their decks. The bars up top, that's where billions of dollars are flowing in. The bars down at the bottom, well, that's where the money is flowing out.
And let's get right to the point. Here is the absolute clearest example of this winner and loser dynamic. On one side, you've got warehouses, which are just on fire thanks to e-commerce. Investment in them has shot up by over 20%. And on the other side, the classic downtown office tower. It's been hammered by remote work, and its share in these book portfolios has just plummeted by over 15%. It's a tale of two very, very different buildings.
But the winning team is way bigger than just warehouses. All of these sectors are doing incredibly well, and you can see how they tie back to the big trends we've already talked about, right? Data centers, that's the AI boom. Medical offices, senior housing, student housing, that's all driven by those powerful demographic shifts. And single-family rentals are perfectly positioned to meet the demand for more space in this new world.
So what's the big takeaway from all this? It means that to succeed in real estate now, you can't just bet on an entire city or an entire market anymore. As this quote says, it's all about the micro details. You can't just say, I'm investing in offices. No, you have to find that one specific building in the perfect neighborhood that has exactly what today's tenants want. The game is now won or lost on a specific street corner.
Okay, let's bring it all home. Let's pull these three massive trends, the human reshuffle, AI's physical footprint, and this new reality of winners and losers, let's pull them all together. What does this all mean for the future of the places where we live and work and play every single day?
You know, the bottom line is this. These huge abstract forces are having very real, very tangible effects on our daily lives. That half-empty office building downtown, that's a direct casualty of the new realities of work. That brand new windowless building on the edge of town, that's the physical footprint of AI. And the new apartments being built in your neighborhood, that's a direct response to the great human reshuffle. It is all connected.
And that leaves us with one last really important question to think about. These trends aren't slowing down. If anything, they're speeding up. So I want you to take a look around your own community. As these powerful currents of change keep flowing, what will your city, your suburb, your street corner, what will it all look like in the next 10 years? Because the future is being built right now all around us.